The invasion begins. The Klingon threat emerges. The Klingon war fleet tore a hole through space itself above Jupiter, the wormhole spilling out their world-ending armada like vile demons from the depths of hell. The last time the Klingons invaded a planet, 100,000 years ago, they reduced the advanced Atlantean civilization to nothing but scattered atoms overnight, with only a desperate AI messenger escaping to carry on their final wish, a plan for humanity's survival. The prophecy unfolds. When the Klingons returned to harvest a new crop of slaves from the solar system, alarms blared and red lights flashed. Commander Peter Parker stormed into the fortified briefing room buried deep within the Pentagon. Grim-faced generals and wide-eyed scientists crowded around a giant display of the invading alien ships, close enough now to make out the skull-like insignia promising death to all who defied Klingon rule. "Well, they're here just like the Atlantis AI prophecy warned us," growled General Michelson, his scared face looking as if it were chiseled from stone. "Then we've got a fighting chance if we trust the plan," said Peter, taking his place at the head of the briefing table. Skepticism and determination. Michelson snorted derisively. "Parker, with all due respect, that AI fairy tale isn't going to do a damn thing against a fleet that size. We're outgunned 10-1. Peter's face hardened, a lifetime of battles etched across his features. The AI hasn't been wrong yet. It's no coincidence we unearthed the Atlantean interface decades ago, or that it guided our technological breakthroughs and shaped our planetary defenses." He gestured to the display where Klingon attack formations began spreading out like a many-armed creature. The Atlanteans knew this day would come. They left behind the keys to our salvation. We just need to figure out how to use them and fast, or humanity is finished. Racing against time. The room fell deathly silent, save for the hum of computers and the blip of scans tracking the invaders' approach. Billions of lives, the fate of the entire human race, hung in the balance. All eyes swiveled to the swarm of enemy ships poised to unleash a barrage of destruction that would make the Atlanteans' doom look like a mere prelude. Peter smashed his fist down on the console as if he could already hear the death screams of his species. "We have hours at best before they're within striking distance. We need to unravel the final pieces of the Atlantean plan immediately or start praying for a miracle. I want every resource we've got working on the AI's last transmission. There has to be something we missed, some clue to a weapon or defensive measure, because if the Atlantean parting gift can't save us now." He trailed off, leaving the horrific alternative hanging unspoken in the air. Unraveling the secret. The grim silence that followed was broken only by frenzied bursts of activity as everyone scrambled to decipher the secrets of a long-lost civilization. Secrets that now represented nothing less than humanity's last hope against the coming storm. All the while, the Klingon fleet crept closer, an engine of apocalypse bearing down on an unsuspecting Earth, whose mightiest defenders could only watch, wait, and pray that a 100,000-year-old message from beyond the grave could save them from the same oblivion that claimed its senders. The AI's revelation. Deep within a fortified underground bunker, a frenzied energy crackled through the air as Commander Peter Parker's team raced to unravel the secrets of the Atlantean AI's latest transmission. Fingers flew across keyboards, eyes darted between screens, and terse commands punctuated the hum of servers and equipment. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and every second counted. Ely, Peter's lanky communications specialist, suddenly bolted upright in his chair, eyes wide. "Commander, I've got something," he shouted, voice tight with excitement and disbelief. "The AI just dumped a massive data packet onto our servers. It looks like schematics." Peter vaulted over a console, heart pounding as he skidded to a halt behind Eli, his gaze locked onto the screens. Lines of code and diagrams scrolled past at breakneck speed. Recognition dawned, and he sucked in a sharp breath. "I'll be damned," he breathed, hardly daring to believe what he was seeing. "It's the plasma cannon designs we invented last year, but these plans, they're like nothing I've ever seen." The power output is off the charts. Assembling the defense. Eli nodded, fingers dancing across the keys as he delved deeper into the data. "There's more, sir," he reported, voice thrumming with urgency. "Specifications for some sort of energy shielding, and what looks like blueprints for ultra-high-yield warheads." Peter straightened, mind whirling as the pieces fell into place. The plasma cannons, the planetary shield upgrades, the new missile payloads. He murmured, awestruck. "It's all here." The Atlanteans didn't just leave us a warning. They left us a battle plan. They knew exactly what we would need to stand a chance against the Klingons. He spun to face his team, a fierce light kindling in his eyes. "You all know what to do. We've drilled for this." He leveled a finger at Eli. "Get those schematics to R&D in manufacturing, priority alpha. Liaise with the Joint Chiefs. I want those upgrades operational and deployed within 72 hours. Kai snapped a crisp nod, already in motion as he fired off messages and data packets. Peter swiveled to the petite Asian woman across the room. "Jang, run analytics on those shield specs. Find the optimal configuration for our defense grids. Coordinate with Spacecom to get it implemented." Jang threw a razor-sharp salute, then whirled to her terminal in a blur of speed and precision. Peter squared his shoulders, voice booming through the bunker. "The Klingons will be in Earth orbit within a week. If the Atlantean plan is going to work, we need to be ready to execute when they arrive. This is what we've been preparing for." His eyes blazed with resolve and defiance. "Let's show these alien bastards what happens when they mess with humanity. Now let's get to work." A resounding cheer erupted from the assembled scientists and soldiers, a primal roar of determination and newfound hope. As one, they surged into action, a well-oiled machine fueled by desperation, genius, and sheer human grit. The final pieces of a 100,000-year-old puzzle were falling into place, and with them, a chance to rewrite the fate of an entire species. The final preparations, mobilizing Earth's defenses. Deep within the fortified underground bunker, Peter and his team worked tirelessly to implement the Atlantean plans. The air buzzed with a sense of urgency as scientists, engineers, and military personnel coordinated their efforts. Every resource was directed towards decoding the schematics and upgrading Earth's defenses. Eli's fingers danced across the keyboard, his eyes glued to the screen. "Commander, we're making progress on the plasma cannons. The power output is unprecedented, but we're facing some challenges with the cooling systems. If we push these cannons too hard, they might overheat and fail." Peter nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. "Divert resources to address the cooling issue. We can't afford any malfunctions when the Klingons arrive. Also focus on integrating the new energy shielding with our existing defense grids. Time is running out." Collaborative efforts. In another corner of the bunker, Jang coordinated with Spacecom to optimize the deployment of the energy shielding. Holographic displays filled the room, showing intricate diagrams of Earth's defense network. She adjusted parameters and fine-tuned the configurations, her focus unwavering. "We need to ensure that the energy shield can withstand the initial onslaught," Jang said, her voice steady. "The Klingons will hit us with everything they've got, and our defenses must hold. I've identified key points where the shield's integrity is most vulnerable. Reinforcing these areas is crucial." Manufacturing the warheads. Meanwhile, in the R&D and manufacturing wing, Kai oversaw the production of the ultra-high-yield warheads. The air was filled with the hum of machinery and the clatter of tools as technicians worked around the clock to assemble the advanced weaponry. "Kai, how's the progress on the warheads?" Peter asked, stepping into the bustling workshop. "We're ahead of schedule," Kai replied, a determined glint in his eye. "The Atlantean designs are remarkable. These warheads pack enough firepower to decimate the Klingon fleet. We're making sure each one is perfect." A moment of reflection. As the final pieces of Earth's defenses fell into place, Peter took a moment to reflect on the gravity of the situation. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on his shoulders. Billions of lives depended on their success. Failure was not an option. He stood before a large screen displaying the looming Klingon fleet. The sight of the enemy ships, poised to strike, filled him with a mix of dread and determination. He knew that humanity's survival hung by a thread, but he also believed in the resilience and ingenuity of his team. Humanity has faced impossible odds before, Peter muttered to himself. We've always found a way to survive. This time will be no different. The calm before the storm. As the countdown to the Klingon invasion continued, the atmosphere in the bunker grew tense. Every second felt like an eternity. Peter and his team reviewed their plans one last time, ensuring that every detail was accounted for. Eli, make sure the plasma cannons are synced with the targeting systems. We need pinpoint accuracy, Peter instructed. Already done, Commander, Eli replied, his fingers still flying across the keyboard. Jang, double-check the shield integrity. We can't afford any weak spots, Peter continued. I'm on it, Peter. The shield will hold, Jang responded with confidence. Kai, ensure that the warheads are ready for immediate deployment. We need to strike hard and fast, Peter said. Consider it done, Commander, Kai affirmed. The AI's final message. As the final preparations were completed, the Atlantean AI's holographic form flickered to life in the center of the room. Its voice resonated with a sense of ancient wisdom and urgency. Defenders of Earth, the Klingon fleet approaches. Your efforts have been commendable, but the true test lies ahead. The Atlantean technology will give you an edge, but it is your resolve and unity that will determine the outcome. Stand firm and fight with all your strength. Peter and his team stood in silence, absorbing the weight of the AI's words. They knew that the battle ahead would be brutal, but they also knew that they were humanity's last line of defense. Let's show these Klingons what it means to mess with humanity, Peter said, his voice filled with unwavering resolve. We've prepared for this moment. Now we fight. The battle begins. The first strike. The Klingon fleet emerged from the wormhole, their warships blotting out the stars as they advanced towards Earth. The sight of the massive armada filled the skies, a harbinger of doom for the planet below. Alarms blared and red lights flashed as Earth's defense forces scrambled into action. All units, prepare for incoming fire. Peter's voice echoed through the command center. Plasma cannons online. Target the lead ships and fire on my mark. The ground shook as the first wave of plasma cannon fire erupted from Earth's surface, streaking through the atmosphere and striking the Klingon warships. Explosions lit up the sky as the cannons found their marks, tearing through the enemy's hulls with devastating precision. Unleashing the warheads. Warhead teams, stand by for launch, Peter commanded. Target the clusters of enemy ships and prepare for maximum impact. Kai's team worked swiftly, loading the ultra-high-yield warheads into their launchers. The warheads hummed with lethal energy, their payloads capable of delivering catastrophic destruction. As the warheads were launched, they streaked towards the Klingon fleet, leaving trails of fiery exhaust in their wake. The warheads detonated with blinding flashes, creating massive shockwaves that rippled through space. Klingon ships were torn apart, their debris scattering in all directions. The initial strike had taken a heavy toll on the invaders, but the battle was far from over. The Klingon counterattack. The Klingon fleet regrouped and retaliated with ferocity. Waves of disruptor beams and torpedoes rained down upon Earth's defenses, testing the integrity of the energy shields. The shields flared brilliantly with each impact, absorbing the destructive force and protecting the planet below. Shields holding at 75%, Jang reported, her fingers flying over the console. But they're concentrating their fire. We need to reinforce the western sector. Divert power from the less critical areas, Peter ordered. We can't let them breach our defenses. A desperate struggle. The battle raged on, a brutal exchange of fire and fury. Earth's defenders fought with unwavering determination, their efforts coordinated and precise. The Atlantean technology gave them an edge, but the Klingons were relentless. Eli, we need more firepower on the Eastern Front. Can we reroute some of the plasma cannons? Peter asked. I'm on it, Commander, Eli replied, his hands a blur as he reprogrammed the targeting systems. Cannons are being repositioned now. Holding the line. As the battle intensified, Peter's team worked tirelessly to adapt and respond to the ever-changing threat. The command center was a hive of activity, with technicians and analysts monitoring every aspect of the conflict. Incoming transmission from the AI, Eli announced. Patching it through now. The AI's voice filled the room, calm and steady despite the chaos outside. Defenders of Earth, you have done well. The Klingon fleet is faltering, but the battle is not yet won. Continue to hold the line. Your courage and resilience are your greatest strengths. A turning point. The tide of the battle began to turn as Earth's defenders pressed their advantage. The Klingon ships, battered and weakened, struggled to maintain their assault. The coordinated efforts of the plasma cannons, energy shields, and warheads proved to be a formidable defense. Commander, we're detecting a significant decrease in Klingon firepower, Jang reported. Their formations are breaking apart. Let's keep the pressure on, Peter urged. We're not out of the woods yet. The final push. With renewed determination, Earth's defenders launched a final, all-out assault on the remaining Klingon ships. The plasma cannons fired in unison, unleashing a torrent of destructive energy. The warheads detonated with devastating precision, reducing the enemy fleet to rubble. As the last of the Klingon ships exploded in a brilliant display of fire and light, a cheer erupted in the command center. The battle had been won, but the cost had been high. The aftermath. The command center fell silent as the adrenaline of battle faded. Peter and his team surveyed the damage, both to Earth's defenses and to their own spirits. They had survived, but they knew that the threat was far from over. The AI's holographic form appeared once more, its presence a reminder of the ancient wisdom that had guided them. Defenders of Earth, you have achieved a great victory today, but the true threat is not yet vanquished. The Overlord, the one who sent the Klingons, still remains. Prepare yourselves for the battles to come. Peter nodded, his resolve unwavering. We'll be ready. Humanity will stand against any threat. We'll fight, and we'll win, no matter the cost. The team exchanged determined glances, knowing that their journey was far from over. The victory against the Klingons was just the beginning. The real fight was still ahead, and they would face it with the same courage and resilience that had brought them this far. The aftermath. Assessing the damage. In the wake of the battle, Earth was left to pick up the pieces. The skies, once filled with the deadly dance of war, were now eerily quiet. Debris from the destroyed Klingon fleet rained down, burning up in the atmosphere like falling stars. The world watched as the heroes of the battle emerged from their bunkers and command centers, weary but triumphant. Peter and his team stood amidst the wreckage, surveying the damage. The landscape was scared, and the remnants of the battle were everywhere. Burnt-out vehicles, crumbling buildings, and smoldering craters marked the sites of the fiercest fighting. Honoring the fallen. A somber silence settled over the battlefield as teams began the grim task of recovering the fallen. Soldiers and civilians alike were mourned, their sacrifices honored in hastily erected memorials. Peter stood before one such memorial, a simple stone monument adorned with flowers and candles. They gave everything for this victory, Peter said quietly, his voice filled with reverence. We owe it to them to make sure their sacrifice wasn't in vain. Jang placed a hand on his shoulder, her eyes reflecting the same grief and determination. We'll honor them by continuing the fight. We can't let the Overlord's forces claim any more lives. Rebuilding and recovery. The process of rebuilding began in earnest. Engineers and construction crews worked around the clock to repair the damage and restore essential infrastructure. The energy shields and defense systems were fortified, ensuring that Earth would be even more prepared for future attacks. Kai oversaw the reconstruction efforts, coordinating with local authorities and international organizations. We need to focus on resilience, he explained to his team. Every city, every community must be fortified. We can't afford to be caught off guard again. A global effort. The battle had united humanity in a way that few events could. Nations set aside their differences and collaborated on a scale never seen before. Resources were pooled, knowledge shared, and a sense of global solidarity emerged. Eli worked tirelessly to ensure seamless communication between the various factions. We need to stay connected, he emphasized. Our strength lies in our unity. If we stand together, we can overcome any threat. Preparing for the Overlord. Even as the world began to heal, the looming threat of the Overlord cast a shadow over their efforts. The AI's warnings were taken seriously, and preparations for the next confrontation intensified. Advanced weaponry, defensive measures, and strategic plans were developed with a singular focus: defeating the Overlord. Peter convened a meeting with the world's top military and scientific minds. We need to understand the Overlord's capabilities, he stated. Our best chance lies in anticipating his moves and countering them effectively. The AI has provided valuable insights, but we need to be proactive. The search for the Neuroarm Resonator. The Atlantean AI had mentioned a powerful artifact known as the Neuroarm Resonator, a device capable of countering the Overlord's psychic abilities. Peter and his team knew that finding this artifact was crucial to their success. According to the AI, the resonator is hidden in a remote location, Peter explained during a briefing. We'll need to mount an expedition to retrieve it. This artifact could be the key to turning the tide in our favor. Zhang, ever the analytical mind, had already begun researching potential locations. I've identified several sites that match the AI's description, she reported. We'll need to prepare for a challenging journey, but I believe we can find it. A journey into the unknown. The expedition to locate the Neuroarm Resonator was launched with great urgency. Peter, Zhang, and a select team of experts set out on a journey that would take them to the far reaches of the world. They traveled through dense jungles, treacherous mountains, and ancient ruins, following the AI's cryptic clues. The journey tested their endurance and resolve. They faced harsh weather, dangerous wildlife, and the ever-present threat of being discovered by the Overlord's forces. But their determination never wavered. We can't afford to fail, Peter reminded his team as they trekked through a dense forest. The fate of humanity rests on our shoulders. We must find the resonator. Discovering the resonator. After weeks of relentless searching, the team finally uncovered an ancient temple hidden deep within a jungle. The structure was adorned with intricate carvings and symbols, evidence of its Atlantean origins. Inside, they found the Neuroarm Resonator, a glowing artifact that pulsed with immense power. We did it, Zhang whispered, her voice filled with awe. This is the key to our survival. Peter carefully lifted the resonator, feeling its energy coursing through him. Let's get this back to the lab, he said, determination burning in his eyes. We have work to do. Harnessing the power. Understanding the resonator. Back at the research complex, Peter and his team worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of the Neuroarm Resonator. The artifact's power was unlike anything they had encountered before, and its potential to counter the Overlord's psychic abilities was immense. Zhang led the research efforts, her analytical mind delving into the intricacies of the resonator's design. This technology is incredibly advanced, she marveled. The Atlanteans were far ahead of their time. If we can harness this power, we'll have a significant advantage. Integrating the resonator. The process of integrating the resonator with Earth's defense systems was complex and demanding. Engineers and scientists collaborated to ensure that the artifact's energy could be effectively utilized. The resonator was connected to the global network, enhancing the energy shields and providing a new layer of protection against the Overlord's influence. Kai oversaw the integration process, coordinating with various teams to ensure seamless implementation. We need to be precise, he emphasized. Any miscalculation could result in catastrophic failure. This is our best chance to level the playing field. Training the defenders. With the resonator's power harnessed, the focus shifted to training Earth's defenders to utilize this new technology effectively. Soldiers and pilots underwent rigorous training programs, learning to operate the enhanced systems and respond to the Overlord's psychic attacks. Peter addressed the troops, his voice filled with conviction. The Overlord is a formidable enemy, but we have something he doesn't: the human spirit. We've faced impossible odds before, and we've emerged victorious. This time will be no different.